Battery power solutions. One of my very favorite things. I know, I'm weird, but let me tell you, my friends, it's a good one. Hey guys, it's Dave here from Creative Path Films, and today we're taking a look at the brand new flagship portable power solution from Omnicharge, the Omni 40 Plus, which is by far their most versatile power solution to date. Now, what the team at Omnicharge have done is that they've taken all of the best features from their different models, the capacity of the Omni Ultimate, the USB-C power delivery capabilities of the Omni 20C Plus, and the versatility of the Omni 20 Plus, and they've smushed it all together into a brand new flagship product in a brand new form factor. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of epic, and I can't wait to show you what it can do. Now, quick disclaimer, Omnicharge is not sponsoring today's video, no money has changed hands, and they do not get to review this video before it is published. They did, however, send us a pre-production copy of the Omni 40 Plus for review, which we do get to keep. This is the first and only product that I've been sent by Omnicharge, and all the other models that I've reviewed on this channel, I've purchased with my own money. If you'd like to see our other videos on the previous Omnicharge models, I'll also put a link to that down in the description for you to check out. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Now, the Omni 40 Plus comes in at 38,400 milliamp hours or 142 watt hours, which is the exact same capacity as the Omni Ultimate, but it's 28% lighter and in a more compact form factor, which is really impressive. Now, as this has a capacity higher than 99 watt hours, you won't be able to fly with the Omni 40 Plus without prior airline approval. Now, many airlines will allow you to carry batteries of up to 150 watt hours, but you will need to have them pre-approved, and you'll need that documentation from the airline in order to get through security. Otherwise, they'll likely confiscate it, and with a battery this awesome and this expensive, you really don't want that to happen. The Omni 40 Plus features an AC outlet, a 5.5 by 2.5mm DC port, 3 USB-C ports, and 2 USB-A ports. The combined maximum output from all the ports is 150 watts. This amount of power options gives you a tremendous amount of versatility in a very compact package. This model does not have the wireless charging plate featured in some of the other Omnicharge models, if that's something that's important to you. And I'm gonna put that down to the new shape and design. Overall, the unit weighs in at 1,050 grams or 2.3 pounds, so it sits somewhere between the Omni 20 Plus and the Omni Ultimate in terms of weight. Now, the form factor on this unit is really interesting. It has a new triangular elongated shape. They've designed it like this because it's designed to be used as a laptop stand. And I actually researched and wrote this video using it this way with my laptop propped up against it. And I really liked it. It provides a comfortable height and angle for writing. And the unit is very solid, so your laptop won't wiggle or move around or have a risk of sliding off. At 9.5 inches long, it won't protrude out from underneath your laptop either, keeping everything nice and tidy. This is also a much better form factor for using this product for video work, as it's way more versatile in terms of rigging it up in the studio or out in the field than it was for the previous models. We'll come back to that point later, so stick around if you want to learn more. Now, the Omni 40 Plus has a really nice non-slip rubberized coating, so it's going to grip onto different surfaces really well. It shouldn't slide off tables, and it should have a nice firm hold on your laptop. It is, however, made entirely out of plastic, just like any of the other Omnicharge models, so I wouldn't suggest dropping it. But like the other models, how do I say this? In my experience, it should weather intermittent drops fairly well. They are very well built. At the moment, Omnicharge has a series of inclusions in a bonus bundle that you get as part of the launch package. And that includes the Omni 40 Plus, a nice and well-made carry case, an international AC power adapter, a USB-C power delivery charger, as well as a car charger, which has both 65 watts USB-C power delivery and 18 watts USB-A. And the last thing is a nice braided USB-C cable, which is rated up to 100 watts and is 1 meter in length. Currently, the pricing on this flagship model is listed at $399 US, and that is the launch bundle offer, which lists a $160 savings. And if you're in Australia, the launch price is $599. In terms of safe operating parameters, the Omni 40 Plus is rated to work within a temperature range of 0 to 40 degrees Celsius and within humidity of 30 to 70%. It's also rated for altitudes of 2,000 meters or less above sea level. One of the things that initially drew me into the Omnicharge ecosystem in the first place were all of the electrical safety features that they incorporate into their products. Like other models, the Omni 40 Plus has 11 layers of protection. These include low temperature protection, overheating protection, input-output over current protection, over voltage protection, overload protection, short circuit protection, electric surge protection, battery equalization protection, overcharging protection, over discharging protection, and PCB temperature protection. All right, let's have a look at the interface. The front interface of the unit is made up of 3 buttons and a large OLED screen, which gives you a ton of information. To power on the unit, simply long press the power button. This will boot up the battery and load the main screen. On this screen, you have a ton of useful information in the form of icons that I'm going to walk you through from top to bottom, left to right. Starting at the top of the screen, we have the time remaining indicator. Now, this is a new feature that I really love. It gives you a rough variable estimate of how long the battery will last under certain conditions. It's off by default, but can be turned on in the menu. Moving across the screen, we have the battery percentage icon. And then beneath that, we have a series of status icons. At the top left, we have the power input icon. And this gives you a barrel icon by default, but this changes from a DC barrel to a USB-C icon when the USB-C function is enabled. Moving across to the top right, we have the DC/USB-C output voltage icon. And this icon also changes to USB-C when USB-C is in use. Now, the reason that these two icons change between DC and USB-C is because those two functions share the same power circuit, so you can't use these two functions simultaneously. This limit applies to both using the Omni 40 Plus as well as when charging the unit. On the bottom left, we have the power output status icon, which shows you the output power in watts. And then on the bottom right, we have the battery temperature. Now let's have a look at the menu. To access the menu, double tap the power button. And then you can scroll through the various menu icons by clicking the left and right buttons. I'll be doing a designated video that goes through the menu in detail, as well as all of the status icons and what they mean. So keep an eye out for that. I'll put a link to that video up above and down in the description when it goes live. The Omni 40 Plus has a number of really flexible options when it comes to charging. You can charge this unit either by the 5.5 by 2.5mm DC barrel, and you can provide it up to a maximum of 90 watts. The range for this is between 5 to 25 volts, up to a maximum of 5 amps. It's also solar panel compatible via the DC barrel, up to 45 watts. It can also be charged via USB-C power delivery up to 90 watts in a variety of flavors. Now, the charger that ships with the international 230 volt model is a different charger to the one that ships with the US model. This charger here is a 45 watt charger, and it fully charges the Omni 40 Plus in 2 hours, 50 minutes. But the charger that's shipping with the US model is a 65 watt GAN charger, so that should charge the unit even faster. The international bundle comes with an international power adapter, which is very much appreciated. This is also compatible with the Omni Ultimate's recessed AC port, which can be very tricky to find a good adapter for, so bonus points for that. Now, the Omni 40 Plus does indeed have pass-through charging, but with a couple of limitations because of that shared power circuit. If you are charging the unit via DC, you can't use the USB-C ports. However, if you are charging the unit via the middle USB-C port, you can use the other two USB-C ports to pass through charge other devices up to 30 watts each. Both the AC and the USB-A ports will work normally when pass-through charging with either method. To activate the AC outlet, simply press the left button and you'll see the AC icon light up. Now that the AC is activated, if you go into the menu, you can select between high voltage DC and regular AC. For the international model, you have 230 volts of AC and 300 volts of high voltage DC. Or if you have the US model, you will have either 120 volts of AC or 150 volts of high voltage DC. Unlike the Omni Ultimate, the Omni 40 Plus uses a flat plug base, which is way better and opens up way more options for different adapters. It's a small thing, but it's a big improvement. Another area where Omnicharge have improved this unit is how well they've contained the electrical interference when using the AC inverter. The Omni Ultimate was reported to create a very strong electromagnetic field, which could interfere with connected devices, as well as other devices in its proximity. This was reported back to me by a number of viewers after my initial review, and this is due to the high output pure sine wave inverter that was used in that model. For the Omni 40 Plus, Omnicharge has gone back to a modified sine wave inverter, as they had with the Omni 20 Plus, and I haven't encountered any issues using it, so it's well contained and causes no interference that I have noticed. When it comes to DC power on the Omni 40 Plus, this unit features a 5.5 by 2.5 millimeter DC barrel and can output up to 100 watts maximum of DC power. This can range from 5 to 25 volts up to a maximum of 5 amps. To activate DC, simply go into the menu and select DC out. Now you'll be presented with 4 preset memory slots. Simply choose the one you want and press and hold the power button to modify each value in 0.1 decimal increments. This allows you to dial in the specific DC output very accurately, which I really appreciate. Now, a little bug that I encountered in the DC menu is that up and down seem to be backwards. So when you press the left button, it goes up, and when you press the right button, it goes down. Whereas intuitively, you'd think it would be the other way around. It's a small thing, but I've let Omnicharge know about it. Another thing to note is if you have the original Omnicharge laptop tips that were designed for the Omni 20 Plus, including this one here for Apple MagSafe 2, those won't work out of the box with the Omni 40 Plus. And that's because these laptop tips use a DC barrel of 5.5 by 2.1 millimeters, whereas the Omni 40 Plus uses a DC barrel of 5.5 by 2.5 millimeters instead. So in order to use these cables with the Omni 40 Plus, you will have to pick up a DC barrel converter, like this one here. Now, these aren't sold or made by Omnicharge, so you will have to pick these up separately, but you can do so at pretty much any electronics store. Now, the Omni 40 Plus absolutely shines when it comes to USB-C power delivery. It has 3 USB-C ports, which is one more than any of their preceding models. The main center port can output up to 100 watts of power delivery, so it can charge even the most demanding of laptops. The remaining 2 ports are capable of up to 30 watts each. All the USB-C ports are capable of a combined 150 watt maximum power draw. I'll list the different power delivery profiles up on the screen, so you can pause and take a screenshot if you'd like that for a reference. I tested the Omni 40 Plus paired with a 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. I charged the laptop from completely dead and found that the Omni 40 Plus got the laptop up to 86% before it depleted and shut off completely. This took about 1 hour and 23 minutes. For this test, the computer drew an average of 94 to 96 watts while recharging, according to the Omni 40 Plus's on-screen display. Now, that being said, when I tested the unit again, but this time with a fully charged laptop battery, and it was under normal usage, so nothing too processor heavy, I found that the power draw dropped to around 18 to 20 watts. So if you start out with a fully charged laptop and say you're working out of a cafe and you're doing simple tasks like word processing, you could potentially maintain a fully charged laptop for an estimated 8 to 9 hours of runtime using the Omni 40 Plus. And this is according to the time remaining indicator. Please note, I didn't actually test this for the full 8 to 9 hours. The Omni 40 Plus also features two USB-A ports. The USB-A goes up to 18 watts Quick Charge 3.0 when using a single port, which then reduces down to a combined 5 volt 4.8 amps when using both ports simultaneously. This equates to around 12 watts. The USB-A ports can also be used with the hub function for data transfer. The hub function is designed to basically turn the Omni 40 Plus into a portable USB hub, in addition to a portable power solution. This is a really great addition, as it can be really difficult to find a reliable USB-C hub that has more than a single USB-C port. How you use it is you press the right button on the Omni 40 Plus to activate the hub function. Then you plug your laptop into the main port. You can then attach your other USB-C and USB-A devices to the Omni 40 Plus. This is a really handy feature to have, particularly if you plan on using the Omni 40 Plus predominantly as a laptop stand and charger. I did find that the single button press to turn this feature on and off can present some potential issues, however, as it's really easy to accidentally deactivate the hub function and eject all of your attached devices. I did this by accident several times during my testing. In my tests, I also encountered a slight bottleneck in terms of transfer speeds. For this test, I attached a lacy rugged USB-C hard drive to our 2019 MacBook Pro and directly transferred a 19.49 gigabyte file. I then repeated the test with it attached via the Omni 40 Plus. When using the Omni 40 Plus, the transfer took roughly an extra minute, a reduction of around 36 megabytes per second. This is roughly a 10% reduction in speed. This is a very minor bottleneck and won't be an issue at all for most people. Now, it should be noted that in the first unit that I was sent, I did encounter some bugs with the hub function where the devices either wouldn't mount at all or would mount intermittently. It would also sometimes eject devices when a new device was plugged in or an existing device was removed. Now, I reported this issue to Omnicharge and they spent several months refining the units. They then sent out a subsequent unit for a follow-up review, and I am pleased to announce that the issues that I initially encountered have all been fixed. Devices no longer eject when others are plugged in or out, and every device I tested mounted and functioned as intended. This hub feature opens up so many possibilities for working with multiple USB devices when on the go. Now, we've been using pretty much all of the available Omnicharge power solutions professionally in our video production business since 2012 with the original Omni 20. Each of these different models has been excellent at different tasks. But I have to say the Omni 40 Plus is by far the most versatile tool for film and video production. The reason comes down to this new form factor. Now, as much as I loved the old models, they proved really difficult to rig up. Even the small Omni Mobile series didn't really mount reliably with any gripping gear I've been able to find. I tried all the battery bank holders under the sun, as well as a few other obscure clamps made for different devices, but nothing quite worked securely. I found that I was mostly limited to using them to charge devices in a camera bag. With the Omni 40 Plus, that is no longer an issue. The long, narrow, triangular shape opens up a world of different mounting possibilities. This shape is almost perfect for clamping securely inside the jaws of a Kupo supervisor clamp. Just don't clamp down too much, as the unit is made from plastic and you don't want to risk crushing and damaging the cells. That would be very, very bad. Mounting it in this way allows you to mount it practically anywhere to power cameras, small LED lights, and much more. Just make sure the device you're using has a total power draw of 100 watts or less. Another option is that you can place the Omni 40 Plus inside a large lens pouch. Here's one that's been made by Newer, and you can pick this up in a set of 4. Now I've added a small carabiner onto the pouch here, and you can clip this onto the underside of a tripod. This leaves enough space around the unit so that it shouldn't overheat, and you can then run your USB-C cable or DC cable up the tripod to power cameras like the Canon R5C, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras, or other camera bodies that require a large external power source. For the Blackmagics, I particularly like pairing it with the Power Pipe by Blind Spot Gear, so quick shout out to those guys for making a terrific product. Another option, because of the rubberized grip, is that you can even strap the Omni 40 Plus to the leg of a tripod, which I've tested and it holds surprisingly well. If you have any other ideas about how to utilize this beast on set, please share them with the community down in the comments below. The Omni 40 Plus is Omnicharge's most versatile, high-capacity power solution to date. It truly is the Swiss Army knife of power solutions and can power so many different devices, it's mind-boggling. Combine that with the outstanding intelligent interface, which gives you all the information you could need, plus the 11 layers of protection, you know your devices are absolutely safe when plugged into this battery. Now, it's not perfect, but even with the minor bugs that I uncovered during my testing, I consider this to be an incredibly powerful and versatile power solution. In the 10 years that I've been buying and using Omnicharge products, I've yet to be let down by a single one of them. Even the original Omni 20s from 2012, I continue to use to this day, and they continue to perform without a hitch. This, in my books, makes them absolutely worth the premium price point if you're a creative professional. One final note I would like to make for the sake of transparency is I wanted to mention that Omnicharge have invited me to join their ambassador program. This means I'll have the opportunity to road test products prior to release and provide feedback directly to the Omnicharge team. I can then present those findings to you through videos like this. Omnicharge aren't sponsoring the channel, and I do not get paid directly by Omnicharge for any of this. I accepted the offer because I've always been a big fan of the Omnicharge brand, and I'm excited to share my take on their newest products with the creative community. I hope you found this video useful and informative. And if you're considering picking up an Omni 40 Plus or any of the other Omnicharge products for that matter, you can find links down in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.